Hey everybody, Scott from SCG Studios here, coming at you with another video. I'm laughing because I keep re-recording this part and I can't get my words right. I want to target church people in this video who are looking to get into live streaming. Live streaming is becoming a go-to solution for providing church to the congregation at large because it's been so difficult to meet in person for so long. And we've been doing the pre-recorded videos and doing the Facebook and YouTube premieres and all that stuff, which is great, but it's still not quite the same thing. It's not truly live. So kind of the next phase that our church and my former church are getting into is, well, right now we're allowing people into the recording sessions, but in the future we're going to start service will be done live on Sunday morning. Right now they're done in the middle of the week and it's all recorded and edited and polished and then premiered on Sunday. But eventually it's going to be actually recorded on Sunday and it's going to be live streamed. So if you are like us, which I'm imagining you probably are, you will need some way to mix your audio for your live stream. And in this video I wanted to specifically tell you that you should set up a mixing station in a completely separate area than your main soundboard, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. First reason is sound isolation. So if you are, let's say you are the sound person for a minute, every adjustment you make, every fader you move, every EQ knob you tweak is based on the feedback you're getting from your ears, and you're sitting in that room. The room has a huge effect on what you're hearing. You probably don't realize it, but it does. It's always amazing to me. I've been mixing the audio for fellowships services, the premieres, for as long as we've been doing them, so like 2 months now. And my wife had never really heard what it sounds like raw before, and same with the guy who does the video. And when you listen to it raw, it's amazingly different. Like, you just don't knock it till you try it. But it sounds, to me, the raw tracks sound really bad. And the other thing is, apparently vocalists can't hear themselves very well. They need some serious tuning a lot of the time. So you don't even catch that in the room. Everything just kind of blends together. And for one thing, the room there isn't that well treated, but you kind of get a wall of sound coming at you, and what sounds good in there just is not anywhere close to how it would sound for the online services. So if you were to set up a mixing station in an entirely separate location and dedicate a person to sit there and mix, then they could hear all the audio from the perspective that a person watching online would have. So that's the first reason. Sound isolation is very important. Ambulance driving by. You can hear the mix more clearly. You can hear it for what it truly is. So that's the first reason. Second reason is separation of duty. So let's say, and we tried this, we actually set up a separate, well, we had some mixing console ninja come to our church and set up we had the Yamaha CL5, still do, but this guy was an expert on the console, and he set up a completely separate mix to go into the live stream, and one that it was called the Matrix. It would follow the fader movements that the front of house engineer was making. So in a way, it was a separate mix, but the EQ was still wrong because it's still EQ'd and compressed to what sounds good to him in the room. So this was a good step up, but it still wasn't great. So the separation of duty means that you can have a person whose sole job is to mix for the live stream, and then that leaves the front of house engineer's sole job to just mix for the room, which is great. That ensures that both people can do the best thing for both viewing experiences. If you were to leave the front of house mixing guy responsible for both the room and the live stream, I can guarantee you he's not going to give a rip about the live stream, because he's going to get immediate feedback from people in the room who walk up to him and say, hey, it's too loud, or hey, the bass is too loud, or whatever. People love to complain about the sound. That's a mini rant. It kind of drives me crazy. Anyway, separation of duty is the second reason why you should mix from a completely separate location for your live stream. Third reason that you should mix in a separate location is flexibility. So I really recommend that if you do this separate location thing, that you use a powerful computer and a computer that has a DAW on it that you mix everything through. DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation. There are tons of them out there now. The ones you've probably heard of are Pro Tools or Logic, or I use Cubase. That's just the first one I ever had, and I've been using it forever. So that's just the one I kind of fell into. There's also Studio One from PreSonus. They all do the same thing pretty much. And with a DAW, you get extreme flexibility and versatility. There are companies out there that make what are known as plugins. They're different effects and processing devices that you can insert onto every track that you're recording. And they just allow you to be extremely flexible. Like, you can use different types of EQ, different types of compression. You're not just stuck with what comes with your console. Like, if you were to mix with a mixing board, you're not just stuck with the bus EQ or bus compressor. You can use any one that you want. There are hundreds, thousands of options. So you can just fine-tune the entire mix, and you can be very surgical with it and make it sound exactly how you want. The other benefit to using a DAW is you can record the entire set. You can record all the multi-tracks, and that allows people to go back. Let's say you're recording for maybe a live album, or like we've been doing for these premieres. You can go back and re-record and make edits. If someone made a huge mistake somewhere in the set, but you didn't want to stop recording and redo the whole thing, you can just move on and then go back and re-record it later. So, for example, this happened to us this week. I've been playing guitar, and a good friend of mine, Gavin, also plays guitar. We were recording on Wednesday night, and the first song we played, Graves in the Gardens by Elevation. We actually tuned it down to the key of F, because the original key is, I don't even know what it is, but it's way up there. I think it might be B, but it's up there. And the worship pastor did not want to sing up there. He wanted to protect his voice, so we played it all down in the key of F. Well, the easiest way for me as a guitarist to play an F is to capo the first fret and to play the entire song, like to play E-shaped chords. So that's what I did. That's what Gavin did. The problem with capoing is the tune gets all out of whack. And despite the fact that I capoed and then I tuned right before the song, by the end of the song, both our guitars sounded horrible. So rather than stopping and starting over, we just kept going. We played the whole set, and then after the fact, I went and re-recorded my guitar after tuning a number of times and making sure that it wasn't going to lose its tune. So that is a huge benefit to having this extra machine in your system that is going to take all the multi-tracks, all the individual tracks of every musician, every singer, the drummer, all of the mics on the drum kit. You can have full control of all of that by having this separate station set up and using a DAW to capture all of it. So those are the three reasons that I recommend having a separate location set up for your live stream mix. Obviously, you can't make edits live, but you can use that setup for the purposes I just described. You can record all sorts of stuff. You can record a live album. You can go back and fix things. Anyway, to recap, the first reason that you want to mix in a separate location is sound isolation. Second reason, separation of duty. And the third reason is flexibility. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope you take those three recommendations I have and find a way to implement them. If you have questions, I can give you my recommendation for how to implement them. Feel free to subscribe, share this around, like all the cool stuff. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.